In continuing to prepare our Journey machine for sewing, we'll go ahead and load in and set up a design. First thing we'll do, of course, is turn on the machine, powering on from the main power switch as shown here. And the machine will boot up and take a few seconds here. And what will happen, and to prepare yourself, is that it will prompt you to press next here at the bottom right corner of the screen. The head will then move to the left side, perform a self-check of the needle change system as well as the arm system as part of the process every time the machine starts. So already the machine's booted up and the next button is flashing. So we'll press that button and watch as the head automatically moves over the laser trace and then back and forth again. And then also the arm performs a centering or a test movement. Okay, now that we're into the control panel, let's go ahead and set up a design. So zooming in closer here to look and see how that's set up. First, we'll go ahead and load in a USB stick with our design here. And it's in a DST format, although the machine can read a number of other formats as well, such as TAP, EXP, and others. So we'll insert that on the right side of the control panel, just behind the bezel, and they're in either of the two available USB ports. We now go into the main screen, the main menu itself, by pressing the lower right button here, which goes into the menu. And from our available options, we'll go to the upper left corner, which is Read. The screen will now ask us whether we want to choose the USB stick or any computers are connected in the network. We'll go ahead and press the USB stick, which automatically shows any folders on that stick as well as any designs in any formats that the machine can read. In this particular case, we'll go ahead and choose a design called Speedy Service. Notice how it beeps twice, and on beeping twice, we're ready to press the escape key here, always on the lower right corner of the screen where we can navigate out of the current screen. Now back to the main menu here, and we'll go ahead and press our navigation button here, which is now a house symbol, which means go home, back to our main sewing screen. It is this screen, or what's called the drive screen, that we need to be in to sew. It's the only one that shows a picture of the design here, which is some text and a little bicycle logo here for this particular job, and also some sewing information. Now we've just newly loaded in a design, so the machine's asking you if you want to go ahead and set up the colors. It's also showing you that this is 4 color changes, and that we're at 0 out of 4, which means it hasn't started. And it also shows, if we look a little bit more closely, that all of the 4 color cones are assigned to needle 0, which means that it's not sure what color they are. So it is our job to go ahead and tell the machine which color cones that we have. With the 7-needle or multi-needle embroidery machine, you can go ahead and choose from any of the cones that are already installed. So to do that, we'll press the button that's right next to our color cone symbols, which takes us to what's called the needle screen. You can again see our 4 sections of color for the design, and you'll also see a little map of the design, and you'll notice as we press on either of the symbols for the section, it highlights that section of the design in color. So still at needle 0, we're going to pick from any of the 7 available needles here, and the first 2 we know are the word service, which the customer wants in blue. You'll notice that needle 6 is blue, so we'll go ahead and press 6, and that assigns needle 6 to the first section, and then we'll go ahead and put it on the second section. Notice how it advances automatically through. We know that the customer wants this bicycle a green color, so we'll go ahead and choose the needle number with a green color. And then finally, it's moved to the last section, the word Speedy here, which the customer wants in gold. So we'll choose the needle number that has gold next to it. And we can always check our progress by, on the right side of the screen here at the top, a magnifying glass, which shows us what it's going to look like with those colors. Now, as you can imagine, we also want to be able to tell the machine what color cones that we want to put at what needle numbers. If we look back at the thread stand behind the head, we can put any color that we want to in any position, and then back in the needle screen right where we are, we can actually change our color setup according to wherever we put those colors. There's a button here with a little color palette icon that shows us the color that are assigned to each needle number, which we can then change by pressing any of them. That gives us a spectrum of colors to choose from. So since we're already set up, all we needed to do in this particular case is just set our colors for this design. We're done. We'll go ahead and press the home key, which takes us again back to the main sewing screen. After we set up our colors, we also want to choose a hoop. And we wanted to wait until now because we want to see what kind of hoop it wants to that we can sew it on. Generally, you want to choose the smallest hoop that can fit around that design with a little bit of extra space. So we go into the hoop selection button here, which is this green button, and this hoop selection and slash design positioning screen. We can select the hoop at the top, and we now get any number of categories of hoops, from round, square, hat type hoops, custom, and non-registered. And we'll go ahead and choose a round hoop, and you can see that when we choose that category, any of the available happy hoops for this machine are here. We've got a 12, 15, and 18, and a 21. If we choose the 12, you'll notice that the design's blue outline is a little bit too big for the red safety margin that shows the true sewable area of that hoop. If we go down to the 15 centimeter hoop, which happens to come in every Journey Machine package, we'll notice that it's a little bit bigger, and we now have enough room to fit the design. So we'll select that and press Escape to go back to our design positioning screen. And we can use the arrow keys to hold down and move this design to different parts of the hoop if we want to, if we don't want it in the center. Or if we just want to put it in the center, we can just choose this button here out of these two rows of buttons, which the bird with a little centering icon. And then also below that, to make sure we're at the beginning of the design, which is this pink symbol, we can always return to the beginning here. So we're now set up positioning the design inside the hoop, as well as selecting the hoop, and we've also set the colors. So we're ready to go to the next step for sewing our Journey machine.